Have you or a loved one been affected by pignosis? Symptoms include blaming the controller, banning your own viewers, and saying, that's impossible 47 times a stream. However, there is hope. Welcome to Duty Streams, the internet's premier center for DSP analysis, memes, and emergency anti-pignosis treatment. We expose the cope, we study the salt, and we ask the hard questions. Did the game really screw him, or was it just another skill issue? Subscribe to Duty Streams today, because pignosis spreads fast, but laughter spreads faster.
Arms crossed, legs crossed, toes crossed, wrists crossed. Hopefully, we solved the tech issues. I don't know. We're going to see today what happens, okay? We have to see if the PC works today. Shall we tackle this? Shall we just get to it and talk about it so that we can chill? Okay. I have noticed increasingly over the last year to year and a half that I got this streaming and capture PC because I got it in December of 2024. Issues with it, okay? Bought it as a pre-built off of Amazon. The case itself is a thermal take case. The case is outstanding. The case has these things that pop off. You can easily clean. It's like one of the best cases I've ever owned in my life. It's a really good case. The fans are good. They're thermal take fans, okay? The graphics card, pretty good. I didn't need a top-of-the-line graphics card for a capture streaming PC, but the one they put in it is quite good. The processor, it's a Ryzen. No problem there, you know? But they skimped on a couple things. They skimped on the power supply, and they skimped on the motherboard. As stupid as that sounds, the two things that probably are very important to a PC that's supposed to be for, you know, doing high-end stuff, why would they skimp on those components? Okay, so first off, some of the USB ports don't seem to work fully, and what I mean by that is you can plug basic things into them and they'll work, but if you try to plug in, say, this webcam that does 1080p 60 frames, it won't work. It'll like turn on and turn back off, or it'll only show up as a 30 frame per second webcam. What? Why? Then I'll unplug from one port and go into a different one, and then it'll work as a fully functional webcam every day. I'm like, huh? But the ports are exactly the same. It's not even like, oh, this is a 2.0, this is a 3.0, this is a 3.1. No, they're all the same. So it's obvious there's something with the motherboard that's not right, you know, that all the USB ports don't work fully. But where they really skimped, quite frankly, was the power supply, okay? That power supply is freaking terrible. I didn't realize it, obviously, when I bought it. I looked it up. The power supply they put into that PC was $60, okay? Now, you can always tell a good power supply when it costs $60, but it has LEDs on it, and they're so worried about having it sync with your lighting program. I'm not kidding you. That power supply had a special cable to plug into the motherboard to sync with lighting programs, okay? I never knew that, and it never worked because I have a lighting program on there, and the power supply never even showed up as an option to program for the lighting. You know what I'm saying? It's just stupid. Like, why would you want your power supply to glow colors? That one did have, I never even knew it had that capability. And then as I was messing with it yesterday, I had a button that said LEDs. I was like, huh? And I pressed it and it started changing RGB colors. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. This is ridiculous. That's what they put into the power supply, but the thing's a weak piece of garbage. So it was complete crap, 750 watts, which some people will argue, well, that's good enough for your setup. Obviously, it wasn't actually putting out 750 watts because sometimes the webcams would turn off. Sometimes all of a sudden the PC would turn off. Like, what the hell's going on, right? So that's what actually happened. I would say over the course of the last year, once or twice the PC just turned off out of nowhere, and I was like, it might just be a random thing. Then last week, I went to upload a random episode of DSP Pack Rips, and when I went to upload this particular episode, the PC would turn off. Restarted it, tried to do it again. But it was only this particular video. So here I'm thinking, maybe it's just this one video corrupted or something. I don't know. I'm not really sure what's causing that. Yesterday, I was right here at this very same time and place. I was streaming the DSP morning show. And as I was streaming, the PC just turned off. And I'm like, what the hell? That's never happened before. It has turned off when I was uploading. It's never turned off just streaming. So I don't actually know the root cause of the problem. But after us kind of messing with it, because we, luckily for me, see, and here's what I'm going to say. People love to criticize because they're morons. That's the real reason they criticize. They say, Phil, why did you buy this selfie stick and tripod? You don't do IRL streaming. Phil, why did you buy these Rode mics? You don't do anything that would use them. Well, guess what? Guess what I did all day yesterday? I streamed from my phone using this guy, and I was able to put out content all day long, even though my PC was on the fritz. So you see what it's like to be prepared? Do you see why, if you have the means, you should prepare for the worst? Because then you can actually still do stuff. Instead of being a moron and sitting here and be like, well, my PC's off, so I guess I just can't do anything for a week, right? There you go. So I was able to stream from my phone. First stream, we messed with the PC for about an hour and a half, essentially unplugging, replugging, testing. Nothing could be determined, but then it turned on. And we're like, oh, okay. So I was able to at least do a shortened first stream where we played like an hour and a half of Dark Souls 2. And then we were able to do the DSP pack rips. And then we were able to do DSP tries it. Now, the bummer was I finished that stream and I went to upload and the PC turned off again. And then I couldn't get it to turn back on at all. Okay? When that happened, we said, that's it. I got to buy a new power supply. It definitely seems like the issues are likely the power supply. Okay? And so ordered one right off Amazon. Actually, there's a story here. So on Amazon, because I live near many of the Amazon distribution centers and warehouses, I'm able to get certain products from Amazon immediately. And I mean that too, like absolutely immediately. All right. I'm able to get something off of Amazon and get it delivered like right away. So I went on there and it said, I was looking at all the power supplies that I could get last night immediately. And sadly, there was no 1,000 watts. I wanted 1,000 watt. I said, man, if I get 1,000 watt, I'm good. I'll never have a power drain issue, right? But they didn't have it. I had to get an 850. I got a Corsair, which is a name brand. Okay, got ATX and a modular. So now it only has the cords plugged in that need to be plugged in. I only have 3, one for the motherboard, one for the CPU, one for the GPU. That's it. No more garbage 100 cord coming out of there like Medusa Snakehead or something like that. And it cost $140. So I want you to think about that. My old PSU had LED lights on it, but it was only a $60 PSU. I bought a name brand, quality modular PSU, slightly more powerful, $140, more than double the price. You get what you pay for, right? You really do. So I went to Amazon to get it, and it gave me 3 options. It said option number 1, you could get it in an hour, but you have to pay $10. Option number 2, you get it in 3 hours, but you have to pay $5. Option number 3, you can get it by 11 p.m. tonight, and you don't have to pay anything additional. Now, I'm sitting here, and I'm like, obviously, I'm going to do one of these 3 options, right? But my concern is that if I, sadly, do the 8 to 11, what are the chances that it's actually going to come right away? Or I'm going to get screwed and it's going to show up at 11 p.m. And now I need you guys to walk me through this. And I'm up here till 1 a.m. trying to get this hooked up, right? So I said, I can't do the 8 to 11. I'm going to have to pay for one of the ones that are going to come quick, right? And I said, well, you know what? What I will do then, let me go ahead and pay the $10. Why not? Because I want it right away. I want it immediately. Okay? So I pay the $10 and it says, oh, okay, that's great. It's going to be coming by like 6:05 p.m. Wow, that's awesome. So I relaxed with my wife. I was on the couch waiting. Wait, what? Waiting. Keep checking the status. They never shipped it. I'm serious. They just sat there in the warehouse. It says, oh, they were preparing the package. They never shipped it. It just sat there. Then 6:05 passed and they said, oh, sorry, delay, missed delivery. Yeah, no shit. I just paid $10 for this thing extra and you didn't ship it. Now, the thing is, I needed it. So I said, this is so dumb. I got to order it again. I need this fucking power supply for tonight. So I ordered a second one. And this time I said, I'll pay the $5, deliver it within 3 hours. It came within 40 minutes. So I want you to think about this with Amazon. If you pay $10 for it to come in an hour, they just don't ship it. They leave it sitting there. But if you pay $5 and they promise to deliver it in 3 hours, they'll deliver it in 40 minutes. You can't make it up. Does that make any sense? Anyway, so I did get my power supply, but I got charged for 2. I canceled the first order, and now they're like, oh, we'll credit you in 5 business days. Fuck you, you assholes. So now I got like $200 held up because the idiots didn't ship the first one, and I got to wait for them to credit me back. What a bunch of dicks, right? Anyway, so I did get the power supply, and you guys know what I did last night, right? We basically disassembled the PC, took out the old power supply, taking out the old cables, and it has nice cable management. I will say this, for a pre-built, they did really nice cable management in this guy with these nice ties and everything. So the cables are nicely organized in there. It's not a big mess, which is nice and appreciated. We put in the new power supply, we tested it, then we hooked it all up. And since then, since we did this live last night, which took about 2 hours, the PC seems to be working flawlessly. Now, there was one sad thing that happened. As I already explained to you, some of the USB ports on the motherboard don't work right. So I didn't remember what port I had everything plugged into. And so these cameras weren't plugged into the correct ports, and they wouldn't work right. This one kept turning off over here, and this one would only show us 30 frames per second. And I'm like, oh, come on. Now I got to work out all this shit again. And it was a pain. It took like 20 minutes to figure out. I kept messing with ports till finally they showed up and started working properly. And I'm like, all right, well, that's good. Thankfully, it seems to now be working. I hope. And the reason I say that is we went through all that trouble yesterday. We assumed the problem was the power supply, right? Now, here's the truth. Even if it wasn't the problem, I'm still happy to have a good power supply. This is a streaming and capture PC I use every day, all day. When I'm not streaming, I'm capturing, or I'm doing both. If I'm not doing that, I'm usually editing or uploading. The PC is always being used. I need a very reliable power supply, okay? Not a $60 piece of garbage that was designed for kiddies to have LEDs on it. So I'm happy that I have a Corsair now. The reviews on this power supply I have are excellent. The reviews are like, this is a very dependable power supply. It's the one everyone gets when they buy a pre-built and their thing blows out. They tend to get this Corsair model. It's a really standard one that everyone likes. It's very dependable, and it's very good. So hopefully this thing lasts and is a good one, and it's going to be more powerful. So, fingers crossed that was the problem. Because honestly, if it's anything else, if it's the processor, if it's the motherboard, I'm screwed. Seriously, I can't build that. There's no way. You know, I'm looking at it yesterday as it's open, and I'm like, this looks completely different from when I used to build PCs in the early 2000s. All right. The motherboard itself has a ton of wires going to it, and that's what kind of shocked me yesterday. I was scared because when I first looked in there, I thought, I got to plug all these in. No, the power supply only needed to be plugged into the motherboard, CPU, GPU. That was it. All those other wires are for the motherboard to go into other things like the fans and shit like that. If I had to do that, that would have been a nightmare because I don't know how to do it. You know, I was even looking, I was like, I don't even know how to access the fans on the front of the case without, I had to break the case. I don't know what, there must be a way you disassemble it, but I don't know how. It didn't come with any instructions when I bought it. It came with nothing, literally nothing. So, you know, to me to disassemble and try to mess with it, yeah. So more than likely, if it was something like the CPU or the motherboard, I would have to take it to some kind of a computer repair shop, of which there really are none around here. The one or two that were local actually went out of business recently. So I would have to find someone to do it. And who knows how quickly they could do it, you know, rush job or whatever. You know, I don't want to have to buy a new PC. I just got this a year and a half ago. This is ridiculous. It's quite frankly, it's ridiculous I'm even having a problem. I just bought it a year and a half ago, right? It's ludicrous that I'm having problems with it. But I guess that's just my luck. I just don't have luck with PCs ever. I always have problems no matter what PC I buy or what I do, right? Anyway, so it is what it is. All right, now, hopefully, hopefully we did fix it, right? I do. I hope that that was it. We went through this ordeal yesterday. The good news is we now know if anything ever goes wrong, I could stream from my phone. I have the mics. I have a stand. We know it all works. It worked well. I did 2 streams from the phone, and they both worked well. The bummer is there's no way to dual stream on the phone to YouTube and Kick. So if I stream from the phone, it has to just go to YouTube, sadly. And I'll be honest, it's a really limited interface. Like, it's hard to read the chat because the chat's at the bottom of the screen and it's crunched in and you can't make the text any bigger. It's hard to see super chats. It's hard to see contributions. It is. So even though I'm able to do it, it's not ideal. You know, I only want to do it if I absolutely have to. And by the way, as I've already stated, one of the major reasons I don't do IRL content is because people harass me. I'm not kidding when I tell you, you saw the wire on my ceiling over there because the fire alarm that used to be there isn't there anymore because I have a fire alarm right there. It's a smoke detector. I have it right there. I actually purposely, when I installed it, I put it above that PC area because the old PC, this was before this new one, the old PC used to have issues. And I was always afraid that old PC that was 10 plus years old might like light on fire or something. So I had a smoke detector right there. But these idiots started actually doing shit on the internet and stuff, trying to contact people saying, oh, Phil doesn't have fire alarms in his house. When I do. I have one in my kitchen. I have one in the bedroom. I have one in the den. And I have one right here. And I've always had them. Just I don't talk about it because it's none of anyone's fucking business. But these idiots try to cause problems. So literally just me filming in this room yesterday, these idiots tried to mess with me. So do you understand why I don't do IRL streaming? Like, I'm not even kidding. The moment that I walk out into the hallway, right? If I showed you anything in the hallway, morons would be trying to fuck with me about something in the hallway. So yeah, pretty fucked up. How messed up these people are. And, you know, I'm happy that nothing ever really comes of it, but that's just the first taste. I've told you the stories. People calling my electric company and trying to turn off my electricity, right? Fucked up stuff just by seeing common things in my house. So that's why I'm not going to do it. That's why you're not going to see me walking around the house with the selfie stick like this, showing you my whole home, showing you everything in it. You'll have idiots actually trying to do messed up, you know, stuff. They're just losers. They have nothing better to do, and they're so jealous of me and my success, they can't take the fact that I'm having a great life, and they're miserable wretches. So they have to try to ruin it. Anyway, so that's what happened yesterday, and the good news is hopefully the issue is fixed. I really do. I hope the issue is fixed. I do hope that it was the GP or the PSU. It's replaced now, and hopefully now we can move forward without any interruption. Because I just want to say this. Thank you to those who were still here all day yesterday, despite the fact we couldn't do the scheduled content. And thanks to those who still supported the streams. We actually had well-supported streams, despite the fact there was no gaming content for most of it. It was very nice of you to do that. Because, yeah, that would have really sucked if I had a dead day because this stupid thing broke already, right? So thank you so much. That was actually very nice of you to come by and hang out with me and to support those streams. So, knock on wood. Fingers crossed that we can broadcast today. I want to try Beast of Reincarnation. Obviously, I really want to do Final Fantasy VI tonight. Like that, I'm pissed that I couldn't play it last night. You know it's my favorite RPG of all time. We were just about to head into the real game past the intro, and we got held up. Tonight we do it, okay? Cool. Okay. We got a couple of tips here.